So you ever had that situation where you want to coach somebody and they're coached out? Well, this video, I'm going to give you 3 things to think about. So when you encounter people who are saying, I already have a coach, or like I'm coached out, that you can actually still work with this person and give them results. So stay tuned. So not long ago, I was in one of my Florida Speaker Association monthly chapter meetings, and there's some amazing speakers and professionals in this group. And I always learn something, and I love hearing what they're struggling with and what are some of the things that they're trying to do in their businesses to grow their pipelines and do all these really cool things. I just love it. And one of the speakers came on, and she was just kind of venting a little bit. And she said, everybody on LinkedIn keeps pinging me and sending me messages saying that they want to coach me. And this is a very accomplished professional. She's got quite a legacy, in fact, associated with her name and her brand. And so, but she was so exasperated by all of these pingings of people wanting to coach her. And when I got my coaching certification a few years ago, because I wanted to really understand what was coaching, how is it different from teaching and therapy and all of these different things, because I wanted to have a base skill set. And so when I got this certification, I started, like, my sensory was a lot higher around the amount of coaches that that are out there. And there are a lot of coaches out there. In fact, I'm actually in a program right now that's focused on sales, and it's loaded with coaches. And they're all coaches around life and energy and mindset and all of these kind of soft, fuzzy things, but essential skills. Now, I'm not diminishing the coaching profession by any means. Don't hear it that way. But what I'm trying to inspire within you is that this is a very saturated market. And there are people out there that are coaching that don't even have coach training. Yeah, it's true. And so this is what I find, like, incredible. And believe me, I could go down a rabbit hole about coaching. But here's the thing. When she said that, when she was just kind of like feeling that, what is it about coaching? I was like, you know what is it about coaching? And I've actually encountered this when I've presented a similar type of a value prop to a prospect, where I'm like, okay, I can work with you on strategy, and then I can give you implementation support, which is a big part of my business. And part of that is a lot of coaching. And what I learned is that people are starting to get a bell ringer around the term coaching. So my first kind of thing that I want to recommend you think about is stop using coaching in your marketing, in your messaging. When you want to have a conversation with a prospect about working with them, you don't need to use the term coaching, right? Because people may have sensitivity as well to being coached. They may not be ready to be coached, or they may already have a coach or 2 or 3. And they may put you in that bucket, and then you're stuck, right? So you get labeled as a coach when you could probably be providing something completely different. So the first thing is stop using the term coaching, even if there's executive coach or mindset coach or some adjective in front of it to kind of qualify it or distinguish it a little bit. Focus on the outcome, focus on the value you're delivering, not necessarily how you're doing it or what your label or title is. So that's the first thing. And there are many other ways you can communicate around that act of coaching without using the word coaching. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is really being able to understand your prospect's pain, what they're dealing with, what they're struggling with, before you assume they need to be coached. Right? So many coaches are like, it's like the hammer and the nail, right? If you think you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Well, a lot of coaches will just assume everybody needs coaching. Well, that's not true. You have to really understand where the pain is, what they're experiencing as far as the struggles of their business, the struggles of maybe they've got personal issues going on, right? Maybe they want to change their trajectory in their career, whatever it is, really understanding what they're struggling with, what they're thinking about it, right? Kind of get into their heads, have the conversation that they're having, and really feel empathically or empathetically, maybe that's the better word, empathetically how they're facing it, dealing with it, and all those things. Because when you're a better listener, you're able to be a better salesperson in your business. Okay. And then the third thing is, again, don't assume they need coaching, right? So I kind of collapsed 2 and 3 together. So when someone comes in and you'd like to use coaching, whether you're certified or not, you use that as a way to deliver your value. Really try to distinguish it in such a way that you're giving them what they need, not what you think they need. Now, they always say sales thought is like, well, you sell them what they want and then you give them what they need. Yes, that may be true, but we are creating an over-coached world where people are getting connected, coach and coachee, and they don't gel. It doesn't work. And I know I have had bad experiences when I've hired a coach for my business, and have had a bad experience from the standpoint I didn't get any results because they were coaching me, not necessarily selling me an outcome. And so that's a really important thing to think about when you're doing your messaging, when you're on a call, having a consult with a prospect, and you're looking at what is the best way I can serve this person. So just to recap, the first thing is stop using the term coaching. We don't want to create oversensitized people around the term coaching, or that they feel like they're so screwed up that they always need a coach, right? So we're creating kind of a dysfunctional world out there where it's like everybody needs a coach, everybody needs coaching. The second thing is know what, and this is probably the most important of all three, know what their pain is and what they're really struggling with, and try to find ways where you can help them solve it, help them figure it out on their own, right? So help them find that alignment with what it is around the solution, okay? The third thing is don't assume that people need coaching. Find different ways to serve them so they get what they need and don't feel like they've been coached, like feel like they kind of came along on their own. So those are the 3 things to kind of desensitize that whole like coaching objection that you get, like I already have a coach, and also where people, like the example I gave at the beginning, my fellow speaker professional, it's like everybody wants to coach me. So just know that that's out there. It's kind of a subtle undercurrent that everyone is feeling, and just keep that in mind as you're going about creating your messaging and your positioning and your content. So that way people don't feel like you're coaching and teaching at them and all these things. It's like, hey, let's get real. All right. So hopefully that was helpful for you. Please put your comments below. I love interacting with your feedback and answering any questions that you have right here in YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.